Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's video. We'll be doing a deck tech for Standard on Abzan City. For those who aren't familiar with Abzan is the color combination of black, green, and white. The deck aims to outvalue opponents with its 2 for 1 cards and jump to the top with the best removal. Unfortunately for me, who is an avid budget deck user for Standard, especially Standard, I was fortunate enough to invest in most of the cards ahead of time before something rose up. Anyway, let's go ahead. This is Abzan City for Guilds of Ravnica Standard. Start off with removal. So you got 2 Moments of Craving, 3 Cast Down, 2 Murder, and 3 Vraska's Contempt. Here, Moment of Craving for most people seems like a sideboard card, but this is definitely a 2 for 1 against aggro because you take one creature out and you gain 2 life. The gain 2 life is pretty much like neutralizing a shock. Cast down for most of the things, murder for the general public, Vraska's Contempt in case you need to instant speed remove a planeswalker plus added life gain. Assassin's Trophy, 2 pieces as your catch-all for anything. I don't think the extra basic land card is much of a drawback. I mean, it's one bump up higher, but it's at least not a draw. So I guess it's okay so far. Ritual of Soot as your cleanup for early aggression, cleansing Nova in case things don't go so well. Ixalan's Binding as your one of. This is for very specific cards. You usually want to put this on something you don't want to see anymore. Like, let's say, a Teferi. And then, what else? What more? Phoenix, the recurring Phoenixes. Um, those kind of things. That you know have play multiple copies of a certain threat that you don't want to deal with. Okay, let's go to our threats. Okay. So it's called Abzan City because it has some ups for Ascend. Actually, they're just really 2 cards for the whole Ascend thing. Tendershoot Dryad and Twilight Prophet, which both have Ascend. Ascend is if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. Okay, and then I chose these creatures specifically because most of these creatures are fairly hard to remove. Okay, let's compare it to Blue White Control, which uses the Cast Out and what's the other one? Instant Speed for Settle the Wreckage. Okay, so Tendershoot Dryad, Twilight Prophet, plus Carnage Tyrant are pretty hard to hit with both of these removal. Oh wait, actually, Carnage Tyrant gets hit by Settle the Wreckage often, but I mean, 2 hits. This is pretty much going your way. Tendershoot Dryad, Twilight Prophet. They could just sit back and let their ascend, quote unquote, ascend perks do the work for them. So if you have Tendershoot Dryad, you'll be spitting out 1/1 Saproling tokens every turn. And if you definitely get this out on the board and let it stay for a long time, this is definitely going to be the bread and butter of your aggro. When you get the Ascend trigger, all of your Saprolings get +2/+2, making them all a 3/3. So you're getting a 3/3 body every upkeep, okay? Every upkeep, yeah, every upkeep. Okay, let me repeat that. Every upkeep, your upkeep and your opponent's upkeep. Twilight Prophet doesn't really need to attack to do damage. Most of our casting costs are a bit high, so sometimes you'll flip over and drain the opponent for 4 life, and then you'll be gaining another 4 life. Lyra Dawnbringer is really for the aggression, just to so you can come back in case you didn't you weren't so doing so well against aggro. Carnage Tyrant against the usual control. And then let's move to our walkers. Vraska Relic Seeker and Vivien Reid. I'm just really testing these two out. I'm not so sure if it's better if you wanna go for Karn, the new Karn, the Karn Scion of Urza. But I like these two because of course they're in the color combination, but both of their second ability is a removal, and both first ability are what do you call this? Either refill or give you another, give you what do you call this? Either refill your hand or give you another threat. Okay. And then the ultimates of both of these planeswalkers, I'm not so sure if they're so relevant. I've never gotten to that point. Anyway, let's move to utility. Utility mostly, which is ramp plus hand refill. Okay, so we are definitely going to ramp. We're going to need some Gifts of Paradise and Circuitous Route, which will help us in making sure that we get to at least 6 mana, and maybe and a lot easier to hit the ascend trigger. Gift of Paradise, this is more, you have 3 copies because you wanna answer um most aggro. So sometimes you can turn 3, let's say Gifts of Paradise, you regain the life, and then Ritual of Soot, stuff like that. And then the Circuitous Route, I really like this card, love it so much. I mean, if you read it, okay, basic land card or gate cards. Okay, this is explosive veggies that's able to get dual colored lands. If I could use this more in a deck, I definitely will. But I don't know. It's okay. And then you have Arguel's Bloodfast, 2 of, to make sure that your hand keeps coming. And if you notice, since we have a lot of life gain, we have the Moment of Craving, the Vraska's Contempt, the Gift of Paradise, and then the other 2 creatures. You know, paying 2 life doesn't seem so bad. Easy. 2 life is easy for you, okay? I've did a few play tests, went up against control. Um Against control, I mean, Argel's Bloodfast gets me easy 10 draws. Against aggro, if you're doing pretty well, I mean, you could still draw off it. It's not too bad. And then you have the other side of Argel's Bloodfast, which is the Temple of Aklazots, which in case, you know, it's like your panic switch, sacrifice a creature, gain life equal to the sacrifice creature's toughness. So this could be great if you wanna, let's say, you're against aggro and you're about to die, but you have what's the name of that? Carnage Tyrant. So sacrifice, gain 6 life, or let's say for example, if you have a Tendershoot Dryad, you could just keep sacrificing its saprolings. And then let's go to the lands. Okay, these are more of your utility lands: Memorial to Folly, Detection Tower, and 2 pieces of Field of Ruin. Memorial to Folly. I mean, since we're not so dense on threats. We have how many creatures? 3, 2, 2, 2. That's 9. Okay. Memorial of Folly is like your 10th creature, just to, you know, re, re just to replenish your threats. Okay, Detection Tower, I'm not so sure about this. Actually, I just put it in. I mean, we don't know how right right now, this is October 16, 2018. We are just fairly new in the meta. I mean, the meta hasn't stabilized. There's no solid deck list yet. So I put in a detection tower just in case you're up against the Esper Dragon. and then another Carnage Tyrant. I mean, pay two, pay Detection Tower, and then another one, and then just murder. I mean, that's pretty easy. I mean, you still have your, what do you call this? You still have your Carnage Tyrant, and then the other opponent's what? Just crying. Field of Ruin in case Ascanta flips or some other things you want to take out. Here, I'm not sure if others will question me on this. Golgari Guildgates and the Selesnya Guildgate. I really added this because of the Circuitous Route. I love the card so much. I love it. If I could add it in Modern and make a gate deck, I definitely will. I think it's okay. It's not too bad. It's not too slow. It's okay. What's nice about it, you can get it from the route. Grab two. I mean, and then it even, if when you do the route, definitely get the guild gates, two guild gates, because it takes out two land cards from your deck that are tapped. Okay. So the route is definitely speeding you up there. Overgrown Tomb, Temple Garden, two pieces on Tomb, one piece on Garden, and then one of each check or body land. Okay, Woodland Cemetery, Isolated Chapel, Sunpetal Grove, and then you have the basics: 4-3-2, 4 on Swamp, Forest on 3, 2 on Plains. Okay, sideboard. Um, this one I'm still working on it. I mean, it's a developing process. Meta hasn't stabilized yet, so it could change. Send some suggestions, leave a comment if you like it. It's always room to improve. Okay, so we have treasure map, one piece, sorcerer spyglass, one piece, profane procession. Okay, so treasure map just helps you fix your draws out. This is more of a longer game. Oh man, I forgot to add the other side of the treasure map. Anyway, treasure map, when it flips, gives you basically three draws, and then and has some synergy with Vraska, since Vraska's -3 produces a, what do you call that? A treasure token, and that's another draw. So that's it. Sorcerer Spyglass. Usually put this in against like the fairy, or I don't know, some other things. I don't know. And then you have a Profane Procession. This is great against control and mid-range decks because it is an activated ability. Okay, its ability is three generic, one white, one black. Exile target creature, then if there are three or more creature cards exiled with Profane Procession, transform it. And then when it's transformed at Tomb of the Dusk Rose, pay two generic, a white and a black. Put a creature card exiled with this permanent on to the battlefield under your control. I like this sideboard. I like this deck a lot because can't be countered since it's a ability. And use your opponent's creatures against him. Taste of his own medicine. If he wants to, let's say he wants to keep recurring, what do you call that, let's say creatures from the graveyard, okay, exile it, that's fine. Okay, the 5 mana is no problem for us. Just hope that he doesn't break it with a Field of Ruin. Okay, so one Ixalan's Binding, three Duress, and one Eldest Reborn. Excellence Binding, another one, usually against control. But I played against control last night. Tested it out. Okay, tested it out against control. Pretty good main board. And so Excellence Binding, just another, you know, if you don't want to see other threats, like, I mean, Teferi, and then maybe he puts in another thing. You can add in, you can binding the other, let's say the Benalia, but just be sure about it because he might bounce it. I mean, that's a lot of help. And then the rest, keep keep control and check. The Eldest Reborn, this is definitely against mid range and what do you call this? And control. He'll put in a bomb, put in a planeswalker, and then you keep their hand in check, and then eventually if you like their planeswalker, you can use it against them. So the first saga of Eldest Reborn, each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. And the second one, each opponent discards a card, and three, put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Okay, so steal from someone's graveyard, destroy their creature, and keep their hand in check, which is pretty awesome. It's kind of like a mini walker. Okay. Oh man, I forgot to add the numbers. Forget it. March of the Multitudes. I'm just trying this out since it's instant speed and you have enough mana. And Shalai just for extra protection. Okay, did I forget the numbers? Okay, good. So anyway, March of the Multitude. I mean, if you want an instant speed removal. I mean, instant speed threat. Plus it has lifelink, which is pretty good. So it forces, if you're, for example, if you're against control, it definitely forces them to have what do you call this? What's that one? Settle the wreckage or bust. Okay, so you know you have most likely, let's say you have eight mana. You'll have 5 tokens. That's what 5 damage a turn. And then even if he has a 1-for-1 removal, you still have 4 tokens left. Shalai just to keep your planeswalkers alive and keep your other threats. Put Shalai in before you put the Twilight Prophet because that's pretty hot on their eyes. Keep your Sapperling safe. And oh yeah, Shalai actually prevents the enemy from casting um what was that? I keep forgetting that. Settle the wreckage because you, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. Okay, you, and then the settle the wreckage targets a player, so your opponent cannot target you. Okay, and force you to exile the creatures. Okay, so here against aggro we have 2 moments of craving. One cast down, two Deathgorge Scavenger. Deathgorge Scavenger also for some graveyard shenanigans. If you're against aggro, you wanna move your Tyrants, Carnage Tyrants to the sideboard, put these two in. I mean, if it comes in, eats one creature, and then it gets shocked, I mean, that's okay. That's a 3/2. You gain 2 life, and then it took away some removal or damage to the face. Cast down added speed against aggro, moment of craving, another 2-for-1 against aggro. So that's the deck. If you like it, and and leave any comments, violent suggestions, whatever, like, subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys like the deck. We'll be testing it out. I'll definitely be posting some results when I'm free. Sorry guys if I haven't been streaming some games. I've just been busy, had to move due to work. So I'm not in Manila all the time. But, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.